Hello everyone, welcome to the After Hours Project podcast. My name is Vardhan. Today we have Sudeeksha with us. Sudeeksha is one of the leads of the Arts and Deco department of our college. They make massive paintings like 14 feet by, I don't know, some 10 feet. Huge paintings, huge structures as well. So one of the things that really caught my eye recently is they made like a big Minecraft Steve, and obviously I love Minecraft. So I was like, I gotta have her on. And we recently had our fest Atmos as well, and so she talks about the artwork there. So what I'll do is I'll just roll a quick bunch of photos of all the artwork that they have done, and then here is Sudeeksha. Hello everyone, welcome to the After Hours podcast. Today we have Sudeeksha with us. I just got to know that she did not sleep all night because she was working on her Atmos painting installations for A&D. Do you want to talk about what Atmos is and what you guys are doing for Atmos?
Okay, so Atmos is the tech fest of the college, and we guys work for every fest: the tech fest, the sports fest, and the cultural fest. So this time for Atmos, the theme of Atmos is Astral Arcade. So we've made like 3 paintings. We're making a giant structure of Steve from Minecraft. We're making Minecraft themed lanterns as well, and then we make the logo on a large scale every time because it helps with publicity and stuff as well. Let's say someone posts a picture with it the first day, it just piques curiosity, stuff like that. So we make the logo, and this time we dabbled a bit with thermocol, a bit too much maybe, but yeah, we tried some slightly more 3D art installations. And
So I see you guys make like massive paintings, insanely big. Like I don't know what sizes they are, like 6 feet by 4 feet. I don't know, but like could you just speak to that a little bit? Like what are the big paintings that you have made this time? What goes into making such a big
Okay.
painting?
This time we have 3 paintings. One of them is 14 by 5.5-ish feet.
Oh wait, 14 feet. Yeah, that's insane.
No, we were trying to measure the logo stuff for lights and everything, and then I was very concerned. I was like, the lights won't be enough, and then someone was like, Sudeeksha, the logo is in feet, but the lights are in meters. Like no one else but us uses feet. But yeah, so 14 by 5.5 feet, and then there's one 6 by 8 feet, and then there's one 7 by 9ish. I'm not very sure because we ended up cutting it off a bit and then sticking an extra chart, and we just stopped calculating at that point.
But insane. Like I saw you guys did like one based around this thing. The Van Gogh, Starry Night. Yeah, that's insane. The Pac-Man one.
Pinterest, guys.
No, but it looks amazing. And all the art installations, even the 3, I saw the Mario one as well. That's interesting. Like, how do you go about, even coming up with that? Like, we'll make a 3D thing for people to come and take photos. Like, how does the idea even spark? Like,
I mean, usually what happens is that we brainstorm, we have a few ideas in mind, and then we look for references that are closest. Those ideas, sometimes we take like a mixture of a bunch of references as such. The Mario thing, we really wanted to make a Mario themed photo booth because it just made sense because there's so many interactive elements. And there's so much scope to like pop things out, move things around as well. So we looked for a few references. We saw a very small scale Super Mario setup, and we just wanted to do it on a huge scale. So
insane. So everything you guys do is like massive. It's like insane to look at. Anyways, okay. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because you're talking about that when you're recording. Before we started recording. But anyways, what's been your college life been like? The 3 years of college, 2 years I guess. Yeah, 2 years of college. What has that been?
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, 3 is too much.
Yeah, so go on.
I mean, the first sem was mostly just me being a little overwhelmed by college as such because my parents lied to me. No,
Engineering college is easy.
engineering is easy,
yeah.
and they're like, everyone there would have just studied. No one has any talents, okay? So you will shine. No, everyone has something going around, going on, and it's beautiful. Like someone has some skill or talent they've been working on while studying, and it's insane because everyone here has worked really hard.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was a little overwhelming. I was like, oh, I'm not special. Well, it wasn't a not special. It was more, I'm not as good as people around me. And then slowly I just realized it doesn't matter as much. This provides me with a space to talk to people about things I'm interested in. Like hobbies I've had for a very long time, things I've learned for a very long time, things I wasn't able to connect with other people about for quite a bit of my life. Okay, not a huge life, but like sometimes in school, stuff like that.
Fair enough.
So I think when I had that change in mindset, that's when college life started getting really good. It was very fun.
What were you able to connect with people about?
I think art is easy because a lot of people do art and stuff. Classical music was a little rare for me because it was usually what your parents made you do. And I think a lot of people lost interest in it because of that. It just seemed boring because your parents want you to do it. It's like studying. Like people don't want to study because you're being forced to do so.
Correct, yeah.
So there was that for quite a bit of my life, and then meeting a lot of people here interested in that was very, very nice, and a lot of really, really talented people, and them being able to share, give tips, and that was very beautiful.
What's the club called?
Sorry. So I'm part of Swaranjali. It's the classical arts club, so classical dance and classical music. We've expanded in 2022 to Indian music, so not just Carnatic and Hindustani, but also like folk, a little movie music and stuff like that. So
That's amazing. No, but again, coming back to your college life, so first time a little bit overwhelming. Coming to college, realizing, everyone's got talent, everyone's smart. It's insane to watch everyone at work. Yeah. So go on from there.
I mean, 1, 2 started making me more chill, which is probably not a good thing because CG downfall.
So, yeah, continue.
But yeah, I started talking to people a lot more. And what else? I think my college life from there has been the same.
Same.
Because I remember talking to a senior in my first sem, and he was like, college is gonna get very monotonous. Like each semester is gonna be the exact same as the last semester. And I feel that now.
Everything's gotten the same.
Well, semester starts, and then like you have full energy, go to classes and everything. And then sometimes there's a fest right in the beginning, sometimes there's no fest. Either ways, I get into some activity. Like this time, the Sanskriti. And we danced for Sanskriti. So this is just some activity I get into. And then after that, it's mid-sems, post-mid-sems, there's a fest. So I'm busy with stuff for that fest. And then conference.
I mean, the time after fest is also insane. They put all the quizzes and assignments.
Oh, yeah. It's like speed run.
Yeah, like just like 1 week, let's get everything done with.
They're like 3 days of enjoyment. What about 1 week of quizzes?
That's the real after party. No, so yeah. Anyway, but I mean, you must have gotten more into clubs as you got into second year, right? What was your experience with A&D in first year?
Well, A&E in first year. So the thing is, our seniors kind of tricked us. Admois was, I think, about 3 weeks right after college had started. It was very soon. Maybe not 3 weeks, maybe a month and a half, but very soon.
Yeah.
Because all the clubs hadn't done their induction processes and stuff like that yet. So for A&A, our senior was like, we will induct you after Atmos based on the amount of work you've done. So all of us just overworked ourselves with the hopes of getting into the department. It was very smart, but very tiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first sem for Atmos, in the beginning they didn't have much work for us. So me and my friend Divya, we just come in here, we'd be like, is there anything we can do? They'd be like, I'm so sorry. Because their end time was 2 a.m.
Oh right, yeah, we had end time.
But our end time was 10 p.m.
Yes.
So all their work would start at 9 p.m.ish and end at 2 a.m. Plus they had in-time extension passes and stuff like that. So their work started really late and we'd go in at some 3 p.m. be like, guys, work.
Yeah.
But no, we made a doodle which converted into a feedback form. So people scribbled over the doodle.
God.
And then there was an all-nighter we ended up pulling. Well, I felt guilty thinking I wasn't working enough. So I just stayed up the whole night. Right after Inog, pretty much like tonight.
Yeah.
So I stayed up the whole night right after Inog. We were just working, but that's when I met a lot. That's when I met a lot of seniors. It was through A&D. A lot of them were fourth years because our POR then was a fourth year. So a lot of his friends would come in and say hi and stuff like that. So I met a lot of them then. It was a very cool experience because in the beginning when people would call for interactions and stuff, and interactions are basically not ragging because that's what my parents said. It's like, they're like, oh, they just make you sing songs? That's nothing. That's not ragging.
I mean, their time ragging was...
Oh, insane.
Yeah, and like I think even still ragging is a lot in other colleges, but like we don't
That's
have
nothing,
nothing here. Anyways, yeah, continue. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay.
So so they call you for interactions and they talk to you, the seniors from fourth year.
Third year and stuff, and I used to be very scared. And then, so I never met any seniors through that because that's how a lot of people meet their connections.
Yeah.
So I met all my seniors through Arts and Deco after that, and that was really nice because all the fourth years were so chill and nice, and like everyone's like, seniors are scary.
They're just normal people.
They're all very sweet. Like all of them, like most of them were placed or they all had PS, so they're all just very chill. They were there to spend 24 hours checking if light bulbs were working.
Yo, fourth year life, once you get placed or like you have a set foundation is like so chill, I think. I am looking forward to that. Third year, it's been hectic. Very hectic. No, anyway, sorry, continue. So,
Don't say sorry.
okay, fair enough. So second year, let's say, first year, again, you got into A&D, they made you work a lot for Atmos, and then you got inducted.
They didn't make me. I worked.
You worked a lot.
Out of my own accord, guys. You need to know that.
Okay, so after you worked a lot on your record, how do you do after that? Like, they took you in, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Based on the fact that you are a POR now.
After that, the next fest was Arena. And I didn't work that much for Arena. I mean, I'd come in once in a while, do something small, but because I got into Swaranjali then.
Oh, right.
And compres were also right around the corner.
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of a lot of things. And it was my first Arena, so I wanted to enjoy it a bit as well.
Yeah.
So I sang for the Inog. And Inog is basically like a auditorium performance.
Like, like we have the lingo at bits. Like we just want to be inclusive of people. So yeah, auditorium performance.
Right before a fest. It's an inauguration.
Yeah, but like there's a bunch of performances and
Yeah.
things of that sort.
So that was my first Inog performance. So I was a little busy with that, but I would come in here occasionally. And I just sponged a bit. And then we came in, I think, on the first day of Arena. So they were putting up all of the smaller artworks. They had just put up the paintings and they wanted to put the rest of the things up. And Didi was just like, you guys do it now. So we ended up putting things up and like making small cleanups. So it was fun.
Yeah.
And then I posted everything saying, guys, I helped with this. It's like maybe it was just like a black square somewhere there, but
You did help.
I did help. So there's that. And then the next fest was Pearl. And Pearl was kind of sad because our thing didn't end up getting put up.
Oh.
Our thing never ends up getting put up.
What do you mean?
We made this really pretty frame for a mirror, but then we ran into logistical issues and stuff like that, and we couldn't really put the mirror up. Like everything was ready, but we couldn't put it up because it was too heavy. So that was a little sad.
I mean, you can't drill holes and stuff into the arcade walls.
I
so-
wish.
Yeah.
I really wish. I have so many ideas, but you can't.
Just double-sided tape and.
They won't let us. I mean, the double-sided tape is equally damaging to the walls. Like when you peel everything off, you can see it. It's worse than a permanent art installation. I'm just saying.
But imagine if all of arcade was just like art installations. That would be
That'd
insane.
be insane.
Yeah, like just walking down, people would
We'd
have.
be out of job. We'd have nothing to do.
I mean, yeah, by the end of like the 50th fest, I don't think there will be walls left in the CAD. But yeah, that would be amazing though. Okay, so after that, let's say, so talk about Swaranjali a little bit maybe. First year of Swaranjali, how was that like? What was that like?
The first year of Swaranjali, I actually realized A&D is a lot more work than Swaranjali, at least for like a first year.
Yeah.
Because there isn't much responsibility given. In arts and deco, you have like a piece to work on, but there it used to be just practice for about 2 hours, 3 hours. It was very fun though. Like the first performance was with people mostly of my batch, so it wasn't really. There wasn't a huge learning curve there. The second one was very cool. The Pearl one, we had practice at like about I think 1 a.m. or 12, and it would extend till almost 3.
So you got all the
In-time extension
passes. Yeah.
It was very fun, and I worked with like a lot of talented people, and a lot of them were seniors, so I think that is one great thing about clubs. You meet so many seniors and you have a shared interest, so there's already a topic of conversation there. You don't have to try to make conversation or anything. It just organically happens, and that's really cool because it helps you later on. So yeah, I don't have anything very special. I mean, it was very fun though because me and this friend Anvik, both of us used to work here. So we'd work here, we'd go there, and you come back here. And in my first year, I think during Atmos, I spilled paint on I think 2 pairs of jeans or so, and my mom was very pissed. She was like, "Take 1 pair of pants, 1 t-shirt, and that's all you're gonna wear for arts and deco." So I used to wear that every day, and my senior Rob, he was like, "So is that your uniform?"
Oh, by the way, yeah, we are in the art and deco room. This is not my room. This is not green screen. No, but yeah, like the room looks insane. So I just wanted to do it here because I was like, this is like an insane place. Oh, I forgot my plushie. Anyway, but yeah, just the room and like they moved a lot of the art installations away. I thought they would be still here, but like they put everything up there.
Yeah.
But
I think we should have probably scheduled it for like 3 days ago or something.
But you guys were so busy. Like I just saw everyone was just working here.
It's very sleep deprived.
Sleep deprived.
Very sleep deprived.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the scenes that you met through A&D and Arts and Swaranjali?
Well, I think Swaranjali's two seniors that really stand out to me. Both of them, like the club secretaries, at least people that I keep close contact to. Not very close. That's on me, guys. But yeah, Ramakrishna, he was a violinist and a vocalist, and he was the secretary.
That's
and he was
insane.
also the table tennis team captain. Lot of stuff going on there, and he is so talented, but he was also very scary in our first year. I used to be scared of him. And a dance senior, Samyu and Antra, a lot of people actually. These two are just on the top of my head. Samyu was like the dance secretary then. So she was also, in the beginning, we found them scary because as a first year, your seniors are a bit intimidating and they just have the voice.
Just like I just did my J. So I guess I can do art.
Music.
Music, yeah.
Art ones were like very sweet. They're like, please work. Thank you for working. Here's more work. It was very nice though.
Yeah.
So I think he used to help us with our song, like refining and technically, essentially teaching. Because technically we were learning it on our own. But at the end of the day, he was teaching us the whole song. But he was insanely talented, really cool. And then like slowly after all his friends went to PS, because he was a dualite, so he had to stay back. We were his only friends. And I think we met some of his friends as well. So then we realized he was really cool and it was very fun. But learning-wise, I think he was a great secretary. As first years, in Swaranjali and in Arts and Deco, I think we had a voice. Like from what I've heard about clubs and stuff, like first years are just grunt workers. There's no their opinions aren't valid. But no, they were very nice. We were able to give like song suggestions and stuff like that. And if we had our feedback about a song or anything, we were free to do so. And it was really sweet. It was a very nice, non-toxic environment. And I really liked that. And he did create that in a sense. So that was very nice.
And I'm guessing you want to create that for your juniors as well. So,
Definitely.
No, but like, how do you make sure that juniors still have a voice, but like you still want to direct the direction properly as a senior? So as a third year, you are setting up the tone for the club, setting the direction, but you still want to give juniors enough ownership, and you want to give them a voice, right? So how do you balance between that? Like, any examples that you have from this fest, maybe?
I think it's more of not shutting down their ideas, but telling them why it wouldn't work out and how they could fix it so that they can come up with newer ideas. Because a lot of them, even I in my first year, didn't make anything like super large scale, and a lot of these guys haven't either. So there's obviously going to be some problems that they don't know of.
Yeah.
So I think when they suggest something, it's very vague because I can't really think of one particular
That's okay.
incident as of now. But it's usually like whenever they suggest something, instead of saying, no, we can't do that, when you explain why we can't do that, then they try to come up with a solution for that. And I think that's how you give them a voice.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you have to do that. I think if you want to have good people working in your clubs, you have to give them a voice. Otherwise, like, you can't have A players in your team. I stole that from Steve Jobs, by the way. No, but yeah, I mean, you need to have that. Okay, so anyways, moving on from that, I think first year performances during Pearl, some A&D work again, Arena as well, you said, right? And then second year, what was that like?
I think as a second year, you're somewhere in between. Like you're not a noob, so you have to know stuff now.
Middle management.
Middle management, indeed. Second year was very interesting. For Atmos, I didn't paint that much. I just did one small portion because I wasn't there for the beginning of fest work and stuff because I was a little sick and then I had gone home and stuff like that. So I came in the middle and one of the girls who was managing a painting, Adishi, she was sick. So I just kind of took over for her while she was sick. So that was the only thing I did during Atmos, and then I sang for Inog. But then again, we had Ramakrishna's school junior called Shekhar.
Very talented.
Yeah, not very talented. I met some insanely talented people there, though. Damn. But yeah, so he was the next Ramakrishna. But it's easier because he's a junior. You don't have to take him that seriously. And he barely knew us, so he was trying to be really nice. He's like, could you maybe try singing that again and again and again? He didn't have the heart to tell us that it was just bad and we had to practice more.
He's like, we can try again.
Yes. That was nice. Arena, I had worked solely for A&D. We were making an anime painting, so it was a bunch of sports-related anime characters because Arena is the sports fest. So we had, I'm so sorry, I don't know names. We had the guy from Haikyuu, and then we had someone from Blue Lock.
I don't know any anime.
I don't know the name.
I know only one person.
I'm so sorry about it.
Go on. So?
But yeah. So that was mostly painting. That's when I met a lot of the A&D juniors. I taught this guy how to paint, guys. It was the first time teaching. And he painted well. And then he doesn't want to paint anymore. So I don't know if it worked out.
He's like, I've peaked. Can't do any better now. Yeah, so you taught a junior how to paint, and that was how you closed Arena. What about Pearl?
Pearl was very hectic. Pearl, we had a problem. I'm not gonna get into the details of it because it's not nice. And I don't think I'm supposed to. I have no idea. But we worked on a painting that had ended up being scrapped, so we came up with a last fix solution sort of thing that kind of worked out. So that wasn't a very fun experience.
You have to deal with again, fixing things up.
Yeah, and that was something all of us had worked really hard on. I stayed up all night for about a week or so.
Wow.
And then for that to get I'm not gonna say anything. And I think that's the thing, because this time we had a painting that wasn't looking very promising, and that was one thing I learned from last Pearl. Just figure something out. And to be fair, this time we had a lot more time. Last time was one night before.
Wow. No, but you guys learned from it and started early.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just us, because a lot of our work does depend on our supplies.
Yeah.
And these are all perishable goods, paints.
Yeah.
And so we do have to start when we get the money from the student union.
Yeah.
So it solely depends on that. And last Pearl, we didn't really get it on time. So a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not going into the details still. But no, I think one thing we realized is that we don't want to cancel anything. We're gonna sit, we're gonna fix things, so we're gonna make it work, because people work really hard on things and it just doesn't seem fair to do so. Because it's not just one person's effort, so you can just go console them. It's a group effort. Every painting is a group effort. Like someone would have sketched it, someone would have painted it, someone would have stuck charts for it, who knows. So I think that was one thing that was there. Pearl was just very exhausting for me. But after Pearl, Nirman, the NGO, has this event called Ignite. That was one of the nicest, chillest A&D work that I've ever had. So that's where I met more juniors, and this was right before Compre. So these were like hardcore art people, or just people that really wanted to work or didn't want to study. That was me. But no, that was a nice fest because that's where I was able to compartmentalize, figure things out on my own, learn how to assign work and stuff like that. So that was a nice fest.
Yeah. So then we come on to third year.
Yes.
Right? So third year, first sem that we're into right now. What has A&D work been like now that you're a PR as well? Hectic?
So hectic. So we start off the year. We don't start off, for us, our business year, or I don't know how to explain it. Starts off with a rangoli for the convocation of the graduating batch. So that was our first art pieces, and I realized me and my co-PRs are not the best people for getting things done. Because we keep sitting, we're like, we can make this better, we can make this even better. Something's not right. It's good, but it can be great. So we sat on the design for quite some time. It came out well, so I'm happy about that. I'm not just saying it because it's our work, but it did come out well.
I mean, what I could do is, if you could just give me the photos, I'll put them at the end of the whole thing, or at the start maybe, and then people can just like, at least spin them through, and then I think that's maybe how I'll start. I'll give the intro, I'll roll the images, and then...
Imagine you didn't tell me, and I just assume you're gonna put the images when I'm talking about it, so just point out randomly, like the rangoli that we made.
And imagine if I just put some random images for that.
Just pictures of you.
So if you look at the picture here. Okay, so Rangoli is how you start.
Sorry. Rangoli is how we start. That was the first all-nighter as a department because we can't start in the morning because it's in the ACAD block, so there's a lot of people have classes, there's a lot of work going on, stuff like that. So we had to start at about 6, and we ended it in the morning at 6. And I'm so sorry. And the thing is, you have to finish it by 9 a.m. or so because it makes sense. Like, we can't keep making the rangoli when people are coming in. So it's on a time crunch. But it was very fun. It was mostly with the second years. We figured things out. All of us lost our sanity. We were making random drawings on the side with rangoli. But end of the day, very fun. And I think that time crunch just prepares you for what's coming in the what's coming next. So that was our first thing. And then for quite some time we just brainstormed. And then we had inductions. Inductions were fun. Before that we had RAF presentation. There's like 8 kids in the audience. I was one of those 8 kids in my first year. But no, it was me, my friend's wing, and Menon and his friend. So the RAF presentation. We worked insanely hard on that for absolutely no reason. It was very fun to work on, and it was a very beautiful presentation. We're gonna paste it everywhere. Like every time we post stuff, we're like, guys, here's a presentation. We did actually when we gave our induction form. We're like, here is a presentation that we definitely made just for this. So there was that, and then inductions. Everyone's like, you guys induct everyone. We induct almost everyone. I want to make that very clear. Almost. But no, I think inductions were more a way for us to gauge how the year's gonna go. Like, there's people that want to sketch, that want to paint, that do metal work, like welding and stuff like that. Less people come for that, unfortunately, and there's gonna be people for woodwork. So we just want to gauge how many people we'll have where and how things will go, which is kind of why we have inductions. It's more like a get-to-know thing than a selections thing. Because inductions and then Atmos, so we'll have a meet with everyone, they'll share ideas. Some of those ideas are very feasible and beautiful and they'll happen. Some of those ideas, you have to tell them, guys, we're running on college money here. Can't. Because as a first year, you're so starry-eyed. You have these insane ideas because you don't know where people are getting money from. Like, we guys had insane ideas. We're like a huge walkway made of wood. The theme was wormhole. So we're like, we'll make a wormhole type of walkway. Like, who'll make that?
Who'll pay for that?
Who'll pay for that?
Insane.
It's gonna be so much. It's gonna be so much metal, and then whatever you're using to cover metal can't be wood. It can't be wood properly because we don't know how to bend, and I don't know, guys. We're not. I'm not really into that side of the department. It's evident.
It's evident.
It's evident. But yeah, I forgot. Atmos.
Yeah, Atmos. Yeah.
I remember. Atmos. And then there's the PR side of it, which is when you decided with the artworks, you submit a budget to the secretary, like cultural secretary for Pearl, sports for Arena, technical for Atmos, and so on. So you submit it to them first, they'll just check, and then it'll go through CRC and then the GenSec. So the GenSec is the person that oversees the departments. So it goes through CRC, which essentially audits the fest in a way. So it goes through them, goes through GenSec, and then we get our money. And based on that, sometimes we have to make cuts, sometimes we have to tweak things a bit. And then based on that, we go buy stuff. It's very tiring. And then we go buy stuff. And then you have to eyeball the number of paint bottles it takes. We were very close to running out of yellow. That was like, I think there's a bottle of yellow somewhere. Oh yeah, this is our last bottle of yellow.
Wow, I mean, I can see it. Everything is empty.
We were very scared. Like, guys, we're almost out of yellow.
How do you estimate that actually? Like, how do you estimate the paints and stuff? Also, I get you some water. You can't even talk.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
So, how do you estimate?
How do we estimate? We eyeball a lot, and sometimes we're right on point, and sometimes we're way off. So sometimes when we're not very sure, we just account for extras because you'd rather buy more paint than less paint because it's gonna be more expensive to go and buy that next bottle again.
Correct. Yeah.
And it just delays everything by a day.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I'm out of yellow, so now I have to go buy yellow again. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so let's say you take a painting, you first look at all the unique colors there, colors that are very difficult to mix. So you look at those colors, and then you look at some of the other colors, and then you see what colors it takes to make those colors. So because there's like a limited range,
Yeah.
shade range. It's not like you can get custom colors. We should try to get custom colors, but I'll be out of a job in the department. My friends will be out of a job in the department. And no one will learn color theory. That's what I try to tell myself. Like, we're just teaching color theory. But no, so you try to estimate that, and then towards the end, you just estimate the amount of black and white it takes.
So that's how you. And this is like, is there like a Excel sheet? Or
Yes,
do you
there's
just-
a lot of Excel sheets. My sheets is filled with a lot of things. I have to scroll, and then they're all labeled very similarly. It's like Atmos list. List for Atmos shopping. Atmos shopping list.
Atmos shopping list final. Atmos shopping
Shopping
list
list.
final one.
But yeah, there's a lot of Excels, and we were able to eyeball it pretty decently.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys just in like, I don't see much things left. Like, all of it seems used. But yeah, I mean, the scale of projects you do is like actually like I keep thinking about that. That is like it's amazing. But like, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is like, what is it like managing like a large number of people who are like creative? Like, because it's a different challenge that I think that comes with it. Like, if you're working in a set organization, less not doing a lot of creative work, you can delegate, I think, more easily. So, how do you work with like this large scale of creative minds? How does that work?
I think after the first few days of work, I'd say that's why Atmos is a little difficult, but also a little easy because there's a lot more people for Atmos than for the next fest because people understand if the department is for them or not. So I'd say during Atmos, you understand some people want to work alone, some people like working with other people, some people come for the company. And based on that, you can slowly end up delegating work. So towards the end of the fest, you understand how each person functions. Because the Starry Night painting was painted by one girl, and she'd come in during the afternoons because there'd be less people. So things like that. And I know some people that would come in, and I'm like, I'm not really sure what you can do right now. And they'd be like, no, I'm just here for the vibes. So there's that. And then there's some people that bring in their own friends so they can paint and talk to them. So it all works out towards the end. You just understand how each person functions. And I think rather than trying to put them into a box and make them do one thing or whatever generic work you want everyone to do, to delegate work based on their strengths is way more efficient for us as well because it gets a lot more done and everything looks better because people are doing what they want to do, what they like doing, not what they're forced to do.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. I think just getting to know the people that work here because it's not a very huge workforce. So I don't have to make a very proper system and make it like a corporate job in the sense. So I think I'm going in circles, but
It's okay.
but yeah, essentially just seeing how each person works. That's why let's say we open the room at 6:30 because that's when class is in. The room closes very late because some people like to study and then come here. Some people like to just unwind here, go back study. So we just make sure to accommodate all of that. Because one, we do need to get the work done. So the more we accommodate, the more work the more the work that is getting done. I don't know.
You just go with that.
We'll just go with that. No, because then we'll have more people coming in.
Yeah.
Because it's more free, like they're not constrained. They don't have to be like, I have to set out this block of time for this work. They can just come in when they want to. And there's always work, like we just have some set of goals we want to finish that day, and either you finish those goals or you go ahead. So there's always work. So it just works out towards the end. Yeah.
But like managing a lot of people.
It's a little difficult.
You want to talk about like the problems you faced making the bigger paintings than like a smaller scale painting? Because you also do art on your own, I'm guessing, yeah.
These are way easier than they look. A lot of them, like the blending and everything's a little more difficult on the larger scale because you don't understand what it looks like when you're painting like this unless you go take a step back and look at it, whereas when you're painting on like a smaller canvas you can tell while you're painting. So you need someone else to tell, and after a point all these colors look the same. They all look the same. It's all just green. But yeah, I think is one of the biggest challenges. But some things are way easier on larger scale than on a smaller scale. There's way more scope for detailing. Things finish faster because it's a huge block. It's not small. I think that was like the only problem I faced with the large scale painting. Other than that, they are way easier than they look. They look good and you think it takes so much effort. It does take effort, but it doesn't take as much effort as you'd think it would.
I was not expecting that answer. I thought there'd be like challenges and
so
things
sorry.
of that sort. No, we can clean it up, right? We have tissues. Anyways, so I thought that would be like more challenging to
No.
work on, but easier apparently.
There's so many more people.
Yeah, there's more people also. That's true. And everyone has their skills that they use. So just use this one, I think.
Like I can make gradients, so that's one thing I can do. And now when you're working on a larger scale, you don't have to sketch and paint the whole thing, right? There's someone there sketching for you. And you just have to mix colors or just fill in stuff or just make highlights. So it makes the job a lot easier. I think sketching is the more difficult thing.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to actually talk a little bit about Swaranjali now. So how does Swaranjali work? Like so you're not in a PR position now, right? So, but okay, what does a not PR do in Swaranjali? Like, do you have to audition for the songs? How do you select the songs? What is that process like?
The song selection, before we used to have a meet to suggest all songs. Before that, we used to have an Excel to suggest all songs. And then we just end up choosing the one everyone likes and stuff like that. So pretty normal. This time they tried doing something new, which did kind of work out. So like whenever you think this would be a good song to perform for Swaranjali, you just put that on the Excel because it's very difficult to think of a song off the top of your head in that particular situation. So that was a very interesting thing. But at the end of the day, it works based on mutual consensus and stuff.
Yeah, and then how, like, let's say you guys come up with a song, and then how many people get to perform? How do you pick the people who are going to perform? What is that like?
There's 5 vocalist mics in the auditorium.
Oh.
I'm gonna make that clear so everyone remembers this. Because sometimes you select more vocalists because you want to give everyone a chance, but then you have to end up sharing mics, and it's not very ideal because a lot of the songs are performed while sitting. And the monitors are really low, right? And then the mic's also really low. So they can't increase the gain because then there'd be feedback. So the gain's already low and you're sitting slant to the mic. So it's not the most ideal scenario. My last Atmos, me and a friend, we shared a mic, and like she was sitting on me, and we're like, because there were these other two girls that were sharing a mic, and they're like, "Wait, how are you guys so audible?" I'm like, closer, way closer, become one entity. But yeah, so just based on who's interested in singing, and if there's a lot more people that are interested, then the PORs would just hold auditions, and whoever's voice is best suited for that song would get it. I want to emphasize that though, because that is very important. It's not just that whoever is a good singer gets it, because if you're in the club, then you are a good singer. It's also whoever's voice just works best. And sometimes there's also like fourth years and third years during Pearl, so they're like, this is my last Pearl, this is my last fest, so there's something I want to do. And that definitely gets preference because it just makes sense. They've given so much to the club. As a club, there's something you can do for them. So
Okay. You just do it for them. That makes sense. You want to talk about anything else for Anjali? I don't know because I don't know a lot about what goes on in Swaranjali. But anything that comes to your mind that you would like to discuss?
okay, not Swaranjali, but we're almost there. We're bringing Spick McKay to campus, and Spick McKay is essentially a society to promote classical music and arts amongst youth. And we've all wanted to do it for a very long time, and I'm very happy it's happening. And I think that'll be a good change because a lot of people that I have talked to were talking about the exclusivity of clubs and stuff like that. And they were like, what about people that want to learn and that are genuinely interested in the craft but just haven't trained before, right? So I think that is definitely a good forum for that to happen. So I'm very happy about that because that was like the difference between Swaranjali and Arts and Deco for me because everyone got to be in Arts and Deco, and that helped me grow so much as an artist because I am way better than I used to be, and that was because my seniors gave me a chance to do something, to learn, to explore, and they guided me, and it was beautiful. And I think it'd be really cool for someone that doesn't know anything to learn things just because they're interested in them, have a forum to discuss, be able to meet like-minded people. So this was a really great initiative. I'm very, very happy about that.
How do you go about starting something new on campus? So what is the process of conceptualizing it, taking it forward, officializing it? How does that work?
I will be honest, I haven't done much work in officializing it. Or I've just thought about it. A lot of us have talked about it for quite some time. And then Anvik and Kushi, what happened is NSS had a Spick McKay event. So one of the professors that works with these guys knows someone from Spick McKay. So he brought them in. And we're like, oh, damn. And they had a lecture demonstration. It was a great sarod there. They had a lecture demonstration and people showed up and they were like, and we realized it'd be great if we could bring them on board as well. So Anvik and Kushi, they went and talked to Sir, and then Sudharadhika ma'am got involved, and then we reached out and they said okay, and then we had to draft a constitution, mail it. There's still a lot to do. But yeah, it is, I think, very similar to your management society in
The same process?
EC and SWT.
Yeah. That's an OT2, right?
OT2.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, so what position are you, do you guys have finalized the positions and stuff?
I mean, yeah, most probably.
What's your position?
I'll most probably end up being vice president.
It's amazing. No, is there an overarching reason why you love both art and music? How did that come to be?
No, music was just something my mom pushed me into. my family, my mom sings, my mom's older brother plays the veena, her younger brother sings, plays the mridangam. So my mom's side, the family has been pretty musical, and my dad does appreciate it a lot. So they're like, "You guys learn as well," and it was nice. And my music teacher had dogs, and I really like dogs, so that's a great motivation. But then slowly, really liked it, and then I liked working hard for it. And art was just a way for me to unwind. I don't think there was like any overarching reason as such. I don't want to walk, so I think sitting is a
Easy way to unwind.
easy way to unwind. I don't know. I think my hobbies are just somewhere there. It's all one pool. Just art, music, dance, baking. It's very similar.
Oh, it's all creative things where you're making things for, I mean, I guess other people. Do you think that though, actually? Like, do you think you make art for other people? What's your take on that? Like, that's like, there's two,
Oh, I make birthday cards for a lot of people. That's where this comes from. I think, I don't know why it started. It just seems like the easiest way to personalize things. And that's how it all started. I'm the first person whom I gave a birthday card on campus. I'm just trying to recollect.
it'll be a long time back.
It's not crossing my mind. Oh yeah, okay. So this was like after our sem break. No, there was no sem break because first year started later.
Yeah.
So this was like all the January birthdays, and I was just bored. And then I saw these cards on Pinterest, and I saw more cards on Pinterest. And I'm like, I'm gonna make just like some 4 birthdays in January, just make for everyone. And then I realized they appreciated it.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, God, if something makes people happy, and if it's easy for me to do, then why not do it?
Why not do it?
Why not do it? And that's how that started. It's very fun. And like, it's a great way. So I am a hoarder. Anything I see that looks pretty, I'm saving it.
Yeah.
Wrapping paper, sweet boxes, a lot of sweet boxes. There's a shelf full of sweet boxes in my house. Like every time we get something for Diwali or Christmas or something, my mom just saves it because she knows I'm gonna take it later on. I think the mom called me up. She's like, oh, there was this really pretty dry fruits box. And like the house help, she asked, she's like, I want to put bangles in it if Sudeeksha doesn't want it. My mom's like, I'll give you a box Sudeeksha didn't want. Leave this aside. So I found a great use for those boxes. Before it was cards, now I just put everything in a box. And I So, but yeah, I think slowly realize people appreciate it. And it's nice when you remember something from their life or something they're interested in, make something related to that. People appreciate it more. And I would appreciate it, so I understand why.
Yeah.
And it just made sense, so I just do it.
Amazing. Great. One thing I wanted to ask is, okay, so you have Suranjali, A&D, ACADS, and
Not
all of the other stuff. How do you balance that? How do you go about
No cats.
No cats.
Cats don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't multitask to my fullest potential, and I have realized that. So I do end up prioritizing things. So in a particular fest or at the particular point of time, one thing just takes higher priority than the other. I can't juggle everything at the same time. And that's just how I take care of Swaranjali and Arts and Deco. There's no cats. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. Like, And I don't like committing to things and then backing out or not. I don't like half-assing things. Can I say that?
That's okay.
Okay. I hate half-assing things. It just doesn't seem right. And it's not fair to anything because you have given commitment there. You have to fulfill it. It just doesn't, it's not right not to. So I just make sure to take up responsibility based on that. Like this time, I knew I couldn't give music enough time, so I did not want to go and say, guys, I want to sing for an org. So it's always that. Like Arena, I wanted to give more time to Indy. Atmos, I wanted to give more time to Swaranjali. So I just choose sides or do something slightly lower effort, like maybe sing back up for a song and stuff, be the lead singer, stuff like that as well.
That's how you prioritize instead of just having to multitask everything.
I cannot multitask. I tried. It's not physically possible. Like, it's not that my body shuts down. It's just, I'm not satisfied with my work. And because I have so many things on my plate, I don't have enough time to correct what I'm doing. And that bugs me more because I'm gonna be sad about everything around me. So I just stopped doing that. I'm like, I will prioritize one thing for now and then go about the next.
Great. Actually, like, one of the reasons that I actually wanted to talk and ask questions about is the budgeting and how do you deal with the limited resources? Because again, I just looked at the room and I was like, this is something I want to talk about. This is something I want to cover. But yeah, like have you developed any strategies to make the most of the resources that you have? How do you cut costs like in a way that it doesn't show up, but like you still have the same output, maybe 90% output, but like 10% the cost?
You guys learn to haggle. Haggling, best.
So, but yeah, just things around that. How do you like budget? How do you manage the expenses? How do you go about, talking about the budget to the other people on campus as well, like the people you have to deal with?
I think it's more pre-planned. We don't have to end up cutting costs because if you plan correctly, you don't have to adjust.
Correct. Measure twice, cut once.
Sorry?
Measure twice, cut once.
So, and we are supposed to give a budget out anyways. So when you count properly, make proper estimates, and there's so many resources that we have that is like how many things people, like PORs in the past have bought, how much a particular artwork has gotten, so we could extrapolate like those quantities for something else. So sit down for really long, make a proper budget, proper estimate, and a proper shopping list. We messed that up a bit. Like we had to sit in the stationery shop and then count the number of bottles of paint.
Oh damn! Okay, that must have been crazy.
Yeah,
how many paint bottles do you have?
100 and something.
100 and something?
100
For
and
this fest?
something. For this fest, yes.
Okay, yeah, so I keep interrupting, but again, they make the list with all the bottles and just make it properly.
So, when you have like an artwork fixed, we just think about that artwork, make individual lists for each artwork, and then add it up because it's easier than just making a rough estimate of how much of each item you would need. And when you've done that correctly, it makes things a lot easier. And yeah, all the cost cutting we try to think of before only. With like, what if we okay, I'm trying to think of
It's difficult when you put on spot.
yeah, an exact scenario. But yeah, so the cost cutting mostly thought of while budgeting, see how you can make something cheaper because that's essentially what happens when we do present our budget. They're like, so where can you cut costs? What can you cut? What can you replace that with? And so on. Like we were thinking of actually making gridded lanterns. Like we wanted to place a net and then hang lanterns from that. and that ended up being lanterns on a tree instead, because then you don't have to buy a net and figure all of that out. So
That's one way you can
cost-cutting.
compromise.
Yeah.
Anyways, so one thing again, I have 6 sections that I wanted to ask. So team building, like, what qualities do you look for? So you said you take almost everyone. Who are the kind of people that you take, or maybe let's say you don't take? And how do you ensure that everyone's vision is aligned for the fest? Right, when you're setting up, like, what's the first meeting like for Atmos? Right, what do you come in and say? And then first, how do you end up? And then let's talk about that.
Well, enthusiasm. Skill a little bit, because then we'll know if they can work on something big, or they'll have to. Like, everyone has different skill levels, or how much you have to teach them, or how much they could evolve possibly as an artist, how many risks they're willing to take. Like, a lot of our sketchers ended up painting, because and some of them painted really well because they were just scared, because all the paintings they tried to make usually got messed up because one stroke or two strokes. So they were like, I can't paint. I'm like, no. Paint.
Try again.
Try again. You got this.
She could.
No, it's not ugly also. They just downplay themselves. It's very not nice. They're all very talented people. And it's just sad. It's like, you're so good. Why are you doing that to yourself? But yeah, so enthusiasm. I think we need people that want to give some amount of their time to the department. And I mean, and there's going to be some people that would want to give a lot of time, and there's going to be some people that are going to be like, see, I have a lot of things, but I want to try and manage. And there's going to be some people like, okay, I can only give this much because there are other things that are more important to me. And some people are like, do we really have to give more time? So based on that, you kind of get a
Idea of
who's gonna come. I mean, obviously, you induct a lot of, especially when you induct a lot of people, it kind of goes towards the bottom of their priority list, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Because I think here, at least, everyone values exclusivity. Exclusivity?
We just go with that.
So much.
Yeah.
Like, the more difficult it is to get into a club, the more prestigious it is. And that's really sad.
Yeah. This is the time to explore. Like, college is when you should come and learn and take part in all the things that you can. So it's just, I don't understand the whole selection.
I was very surprised. My mom's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, they're just doing it.
No, it doesn't make sense. I really don't understand. I don't think clubs should work that way. My take on clubs is very take as many people as you can, give everyone as much exposure as you can. And I think Spick McKay is going to be like a good platform for people to do that. So good work with that. But yeah, again, continue. So you induct people based on their priorities and how much time they're willing to take or give. And then after that, what is the first Atmos meeting like? And while you answer that, just check the recording once. You go on.
Okay, well, the first Atmos meeting has like a huge turn up, and then no one comes later on because it's after midsems, so everyone has like a reality check with a CADS. They're like, oh no, I'm screwed. So, the first meeting, the turnout's usually insane, and we expect how things are gonna go. But yeah, so the first meeting, and then you just ask people to brainstorm ideas. But more than that, it's just a way for everyone to talk to each other, get to know people in the department. Some people make friends. We also get to interact with them a lot more under a more informal setting, because inductions are very formal, and you can't, as much as you try to be chill, they're still a little tensed and stuff like that. So It's more a setting to interact more freely, and they all keep posting ideas. And obviously, we can't do everything they suggest. But if something's really not possible, then we do let them know, saying, guys, constraints. But otherwise, we do take in ideas. We try to merge some ideas, stuff like that. So
That's how things go. So
that's how
first
things
meeting,
go.
you tell them about constraints, and everyone comes out. Okay, so after that, like now that you have planned everything, the first meeting is set. What is the first day of work like? What do you come in and start off with?
Sketching.
Sketching.
So the first 2-3 days of work are very light. Like there's very few people in the room because you can't have a lot of people on sketching either. And like we usually start though this time we started work a little before we got our money and stuff, so we could just buy some things with our own money. So that's just charts and pencils and stuff because paints is a lot.
It's very expensive.
It's the quantity that makes it very expensive as well.
Yeah.
So I started with sketching and then painting, and then there's also cutting and pasting. A lot of stuff. There's no particular timeline as such. It just depends on each art piece. Like some art pieces you can start way earlier. Some art pieces you need to wait. And sometimes some art pieces, like the reference is pretty straightforward. Sometimes you have to figure out techniques and stuff like that. So there's no set timeline, but essentially for a painting, sketch, paint.
Stick.
For structures, you weld the frame, then you measure the frame because sometimes there's a few extra millimeters off here and there. Sometimes it's a centimeter or two, and that's more visible. And then you measure the frame, and then you cut the wood based on those specifications, and then you start painting wood, which is a pain because that thing absorbs paint.
Very difficult to work with wood.
It's annoying because it's an absorbent surface, so it absorbs paint. And tissuing is annoying because the glue makes a really weird layer.
Yeah.
So the paint doesn't stick as well as you'd like it to. So
all types of wood, like plywood, MDF, all of it just absorbs paint.
MDF absorbs way more paint than plywood.
MDF absorbs a lot more paint. Okay, sorry, continue. So after that, so just sketch, paint, stick for woodworking and metal. You just take all the measurements, make all the final adjustments, and then after that you paint it, and then you install. Like how do you transport all that stuff? Like that must be heavy, the metal and wood.
We rent a tempo.
You rent a tempo?
We rent a tempo.
Okay.
No one's carrying that stuff around.
I mean, yeah, because again, like it's very
heavy.
It's very heavy.
But then, like, they do end up getting from workshop to sack, like, walk it. I'm like, why are you doing this? Some things you cannot transport, so they're just there. And things are very heavy. So we do end up getting a tempo because that's the best way for us as well. Otherwise, it'll be a lot of trips with such heavy items. Like, no one's gonna be healthy. We're gonna be putting like X-rays, Volany and stuff like that. Be like, guys, reimburse. It's like, this is the bill my orthopedician gave.
So, okay. You get a tempo for moving all the heavy stuff. What are some like logistical challenges? Again, one of them is moving things.
The tempo cancelled on us.
Right today?
Yesterday
night. Wow, okay.
So, we get it today.
Today. No, but again, like what are some other logistical challenges? Let's say when it comes to dealing with large paintings.
I think sticking the painting was really annoying because the paper we get is a little flimsy and it takes up a lot of energy. Honestly, the paintings are very simple. They're very peaceful. There's not many logistical challenges. Like you can carry them from sack till wherever you have to install them. They're very nice, beautiful things. The structures are more annoying because even in the middle, like because we work here in the room and in workshop, because we can't weld here, so all the welding, the metal cutting, the drilling holes in metal, basically metal happens there in workshop. So moving from there till here till there is really annoying.
Yeah.
That is one logistical issue. And second, I think we face it in the beginning, which is buying stuff and then that transport, because everything's really heavy. uh, and stuff like that. Nothing very specific. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't faced many challenges, or my co-PORs are really nice, so they deal with them for me. They just leave the people for me. Like, you take kids.
Okay. Let's forget about that. Let's say come to Spring. Okay, right. How are you planning to run that? Like, what have you guys planned? What is coming up?
We haven't planned anything so far because Atmos and
You must have had discussions though. You're like, this is the kind of direction we want to go in. This is what we want to head towards. So, talk about that maybe.
a few lecture demonstrations, a few workshops, maybe to learn a particular song or like by a particular artist who'll teach their own songs or dance. We want to have some crafts workshops as well, like Indian crafts, like let's say the Kalankari prints or basket weaving, stuff like that. So
That also comes from the Spik Migi.
yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. I thought it was only like for music.
Music, dance, and crafts.
So like Indian cultural stuff. For the youth.
For the youth. I don't know, we were thinking we'd do like a night-long concert with some really good artists for Pearl.
Damn.
A
That would be insane.
lot of things in the air. Figure it out.
Figure it out. No, but like, so is the kind of artwork that you do personally the same as the work that you do in A&D? And if it's not, like, how do you align that? Like, so it's not. Okay.
I think one thing you have to realize is that it's very difficult for, like, the kind of artwork I do is very random. And here, it has to be related to the theme, and it has to be something everyone would like. It's not something that only I will like. So it should be something that appeases the masses. So, so there's that thought process and all. And there's a lot of people discussing. So there's definitely going to be some creative differences. And then there's going to be some idea one person had and some tweaks to that idea another person has, and so on. So it's never like your view as such.
But, okay, so how do you deal with the differences, let's say?
It's a compromise.
It's a compromise.
It's a compromise, but it's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's not your painting, it's our painting. But it is a compromise. And some people don't want that, so they work on their own painting. But I don't mind working with other people, so I don't mind compromising. Like, there's some things I really want, and if I put that forward, everyone here is nice enough to be like, okay, fine, we can figure that out, we can move it in somehow. So it's a very nice environment. So there's never been any conflict, at least for me personally. I'm so sorry about the mic.
It's okay. Don't worry. If they're watching, what is it? Around 1 hour, 18 minutes in, they won't mind. So yeah, conflict. There's not been any conflict.
Yes. There hasn't been any conflict, at least for me as such. So it's fine.
That's good. So you talked about like people coming in and some people wanting to do their own painting, some people compromising. I think one difficult thing that I think I have had to figure out over the years is how do you give people a sense of ownership in the work? Because first of all, you delegate the work, right, as a senior. But then again, you also want them to feel a sense of ownership, because if they don't feel a sense of ownership, they can't do their best work, or they won't do their best work because they don't think it's theirs, essentially, right? So, for all these projects, like, have you figured out any things, any ways in that?
You can tell when people are working on something they don't want to work on. As soon as you can tell, you move them to another project. Because it doesn't make sense. You can see them and you can see the work and you can tell they don't want to do it. They're just doing it because they were allotted that work. And so there's that one thing about moving people. And sometimes you can give them options. I give them options sometimes because there is a lot to do here. There's not one specific thing that needs to be done. So I'm like, there's this, there's that. What do you want to do? And that definitely gives them back.
Some small interruption.
Back.
People coming into the room.
Interruption.
People coming into the room. I think they just wanted to take some stuff. Anyways, so yeah, I think we were talking about Spick McKay and where you want to take things, and and I think we talked about the ownership thing as well, right? Anyways, what have you understood about leadership? Things that you have learned from your seniors, things that you have learned over, the fests now.
My arts and deco seniors in my first year at least were the sweetest people, and I think that. The reason I came back wasn't because I enjoyed the work. I mean, I did enjoy the work, but it was because I respected my seniors so much. It just worked for them. And I've always wanted to be that for my juniors. Juniors will be like, oh, I'll come for her. Because I'll come because I respect her. Not because I have to be there. That's really nice. And they were really approachable, they were very sweet, and I think there was that as well. They understood how everyone else works, and that's how they delegated work, and that is definitely what I want to do as well, because it looks like it's a system that works very well because it's mutually beneficial. Because the people that are working enjoy it, and work is getting done. So that is one thing I learned from my seniors. They interacted a lot with us, and I haven't interacted that much this time because work was very hectic. But we want to figure something out, do a little more with the juniors. But yeah, there's that. And
But what do these interactions look like? Like, you're saying you didn't interact much with them, but you worked a lot with them. So
it's just casual conversations. And I've had casual conversations with some juniors. I mean, I guess it's not physically possible to talk to everyone around, know how they are, how their acads are going, or where they're from. Okay, I know where they're from because we do that in inductions anyways. But yeah, so just general knowledge of how their life is going, stuff like that. But I think that is one thing our second years do, and I'm so grateful for that. And we did that in our second year as well, which is we sat and we talked to the juniors, because as someone who's already part of the department, it's nice for new people to talk to you, to understand things, feel more at place as well, because now we're like, oh, I know someone that's been there since before. Now I feel like I'm a part of it as well. So I think that I've learned from my seniors. What else? Are we getting a lot of food? We buy a lot of food, and it just makes sense. Everyone's working so hard. It's nice because that's what my seniors did. And I'm like, oh, thank you for this Mountain Dew. Maybe it was them bribing me to stay and work. I don't know. But it worked. But it was really nice. And now I remember their drink orders. Just thumbs up, slice, and Mountain Dew. It's some 4 options. Very easy. It's not some insane shit.
Well, yeah, those have been most of the things.
Those have been most.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your batchmates from Swaranjali or maybe ND as well?
Oh, Swaranjali, we guys ended up becoming really close. It's 4 of us plus 5 of us. 4, 5 of us.
It's difficult to do the math.
Am I counting myself? Am I not counting myself? No, but
Yeah.
all of us have gotten really close because we've worked for one event, and like when you have practice together and then like other events like outing and stuff, and more than practice, the bakchodi that happens in the practice, and then like walking to and from hostel, stuff like that, we've all just become really good friends, and it's really nice because it's easy to vent about things to people that already know how things are going. Like Manasvi and I keep listening to a lot. Meghtaj listens to a lot as well because we know the situation, so it's easy for someone to talk about things, not get advice, just get things off their chest.
Yeah.
So I think as batchmates, we have a nice bond. It's very nice because all of us started as freshers. We were all scared of the same people, and then we all respected the same people. We all shared similar sentiments, and we've essentially gone through the same arc. So it's very nice, and I think it's the same with A&D, same context and stuff like that.
But I mean, you talented. They must also be talented. Are there things that you picked up from them that you're like, okay, wow, this is insane what they do. I wish I could do that, or I want to head in that direction, or something that they have taught you. So you thought that guy, the painting thing, right? Like, is there stuff that you have picked up?
Is there stuff that I've picked up? I've evolved as a singer. I don't think there's anything very specific that I have picked up. I would say that. No further comment. Nothing much. I think arts though, like I've learned to like let loose a bit more, use my own creativity, realize like you don't have to stick to the reference because no one knows the reference except for you.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you deviate, and sometimes it looks much better when you deviate because sometimes you take like a digital picture and that's all RGB colors, so you can't get that into paper physically. Like even if you take a printout of that, it's not going to look the same because you can't make those colors.
Why is that?
I'm not very sure to be honest, but all I know is that there are way more shades that you can make by emitting light than by absorbing it.
Yeah.
I am not very sure why, unfortunately. Bamboozled. No. Am I using the word right? No one cares. But no, unfortunately, I'm not very sure. All I know is that the colors don't transform well either. Like the phone colors, I don't know, man.
They look different on your phone than on the painting, you're saying?
Not just that, the shade range is higher.
Yeah.
Because there you can mix like random colors. Here you mix random colors, you get brown. So, except when you actually want brown, in which case you get purples, greens. It's sad.
Okay, tell me about like what is the painting up, the process of like, let's say from conceptualization to the final putting up of the painting. You told me like you sketch it, you paint it. That is the stuff that you do. What is like the mental work that goes? So let's say the starting like Pac-Man. Right? How did that come to be? So you looked at a reference and
That was because of the junior. She did everything on her own.
no, but so yesterday, like when you guys were putting up, someone came and asked a question, right? How do you mix the paints like that? So like those finer details, do you brainstorm that, or does the person working on that, like, or like let's say the Mario installation that you put up, like I saw it yesterday. So like all of those things. So again, you will have challenges faced, and working with different materials and things of that sort. So like and maybe you could also go into the structural things that you're working on. This is Steve. So like going from conceptualization to like the actual final thing, not the actual work, but like the conceptualization and the mental work.
The mental work.
Yeah. What is that like?
Well, the conceptualization is easy because you're scrolling, you're looking through so much. There's definitely going to be something you like, or there's going to be a few elements you like, and if there's few elements, you just join that. You make your own reference. So that's one. Two is people are going to be like, that's going to be a lot of work, and you're like, but it's worth it. Is it worth it? I don't know, but I agree that it's a lot of work, but I'm pretty sure it's work that we can do. It's not something that's beyond our skill set. And even if it is, we'll figure it out. We took two really difficult references this time.
Which ones?
The Starry Night Pac-Man and even the arcade
Yeah.
thing. Very difficult.
Those paintings
Because-
are huge. Like again, like this, so many different elements in that. Like you have to work with, like, I think I saw gradients, detailed drawings. There's like some pixel art. Everything is there. So like working with all of those things is like difficult to do. So again, continue. So like different difficult references and
And then sometimes sketching is difficult. Just so whenever something's really difficult, you simplify it or you just keep trying to find a solution. And it essentially depends on the person working on that. Like there's some people here that'll just simplify it, get it done. And sometimes it looks really good. Sometimes it doesn't look that good. So you end up going back to it. You try to figure something out. Some middle ground. Maybe something that's not very difficult, but something that's doable. And then there's also people that just keep sitting on it and keep doing it. And after a point, you're like, you're not reaching any conclusion. So there's progress that needs to be made. So there's those challenges that we have to tackle.
crazy. Just a final few questions that I wanted to go over. So again, like this is what I ask a lot of the people. Where do you see your club going? Where is your department in this case going? Next 4 or 5 years? And actually, before that, one thing you could talk about is what are the biggest challenges? Like let's say you work on X scale right now. You wanted to have 2-3x scale, right? What are 2-3 things that need to happen differently? I'm guessing budget is one. Budget and then?
Could you elaborate?
So let's say you do 3 paintings right now, 2
Okay.
physical installations, maybe a few 3D things as well. Let's say you want to do the wormhole thing, right? That's like an insane thing to work on, right? Or let's say you want to make even more things. Let's say you wanted to make like a big arcade or something like that. So what do you need for that to happen? Let's say from an arts and decor department point of view. Like do you just need more money? Can you just throw money at the problem?
Time and money are very important for anything. And you realize that so much because even if something's like delayed by a day, you face the consequences towards the end. And they are brutal.
You've just been up all night.
Yeah.
So, okay, so time and money is what you require.
Time and money. And people, definitely. And people of certain skill sets, obviously.
Yeah.
Because if I have a lot of people and none of them are skilled, there's only a few things I can do. If I have a lot of people, some of them are skilled, there's few other things I could do. If I have a lot of people, all of them are skilled.
Lot of things you could do.
So,
Like one more thing that I think I have been figuring out myself is like, so I know how to do the things that I'm running, right?
Yes.
Because you have to have an idea of what you're doing. But then as you, get to a more senior year, you have to start delegating. And it's a little bit difficult to let it go. You do the work, I will just look and like if something is going wrong, maybe I'll come in and talk. But like mostly you let them do it, right? So have you had struggles with that? Because, I mean, ownership...
no.
No.
No. I have not had any struggles letting go. I was, my seniors told me, they're like, you won't get to paint. I said, okay. And I still do end up painting. And sometimes, let's say I'm done delegating all the work. It's not like everything that has to be done is done, right? There's still some other things that I did. So sometimes, let's say someone's painting a part of the picture, I could go and help them with another part. And that way I can sit down, you can talk, stuff like that. And sometimes I just have to keep delegating because a lot of people keep walking in and then meanwhile someone's done. So that's a job in and of itself. So there's not much time for me to start. And I do end up working way later after everyone leaves. I'm like, this is mine now. So like I don't have to let go as such. I just have to let go for some time
While you're delegating.
when I'm delegating.
Yeah, anyways, I think last question, I think that is the one that we could end on. Like, where do you see the club going? Where do you want it to go? Like, what do you want your juniors to take up? What do you want them to avoid, learn? All of those sort of things.
When people tell you something is difficult, it usually is.
Boom.
No, it's very true though. Like, don't take a lot of difficult artworks. Take one difficult artwork and a lot of simpler things, because a senior walked in a few days ago. He's like, why are you doing this? Like, there's work that is like low effort but better payoff. Because like things like faces and all look so difficult, but they're easier than the gradients we have to sketch in the sky and stuff like that, and those get messier sometimes even. So so when people tell you things are difficult, they are, and it's sometimes not worth the effort, because it doesn't, to the layman, it doesn't look like you put in that much effort. So it just doesn't feel nice in the sense. So easier paintings. What else?
Where do you want them to take the club or department?
I want more structures though. It's been really long, and I think last time we made less. So definitely quantity wise, I want us to increase our output, but I know there's a lot of physical constraints on that as well. This time we were just lucky to be able to do a lot. Was it very stressful? Yes. Was it very hectic? Yes. But it was nice to do a lot for a difference, for a change.
You are very slave deprived.
I'm so sorry.
No, I understand. So I think on that note we'll end. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Wait a second. Yeah, I think really. Thank you so much. Again, like crazy. So much time. And I am really just. Hopefully you can go and sleep now.